Hello lovely people. So finally I bought myself a scope. No, I'm just joking. I bought this one. So a scope is a device that I always wanted, but it was just too expensive to buy. But now, with all your support and with like YouTube stuff, I can. So again, thank you very much for my Patreons and for people who supporting me directly on PayPal. I'm gonna leave the links in the video description if you wanna do that. Yeah, more stuff, more experiments, more fun. So why did I buy this scope? If you're following me, probably you know that I'm testing amplifiers and we're measuring distortion and everything else. However, once in a while, some people are bugging me about slew rate. So what is a slew rate and everything? We're gonna go through that in the next video. This is just, I would just want to share my excitement that finally I bought a kind of decent beginner's oscilloscope. So this is a Handtech DSO 5102P. It's kind of an older model, but apparently it's very good beginner's scope. I had this one quite for a while now, and this is the cheapest of the cheapest. So I paid like £20 for it from China, and it's good for setting gains, but not much else anything. And then very recently I bought some like random stuff from Temu. So yeah, it's like everything it's like electronics beginner's kit. And on this breadboard, I kind of experimented, and it's my first circuit. So I'm very proud that I made something like this. Obviously, I followed instructions. I didn't make it up. And basically, what it uses a 5x5 timer, and it just flashes the LED light. Nothing else. It just flashes, and you can see this. Chip IC, it kind of makes a square wave that turns the LED on and off, on and off, on and off. And basically you can regulate the frequency. There's a resistor, but I put a potentiometer here, and if you just turn it, basically it flashes faster or it flashes slower, so you can kind of control the frequency of this. And I was playing with this and I wanted to see how far it goes, so you can see here on the scope as well, if I or I make it faster like this, and the LEDs flashing faster, and like this. So how fast can it go? And apparently it can go very fast. The only thing that I need to do is to replace this capacitor, which now is quite big, 10 microfarads, and I'm gonna put this little tiny thing here. So let me swap the capacitors, and then we're gonna see what it does. So now I changed the capacitor, and the only thing you see is LED is not flashing, but it's constantly on, because the switching frequency, the square wave, is 7 kilohertz. And I have here exactly the same. And this scope, a little one, it's rated up to 200 kilohertz. And basically these time divisions, if you go 10 microseconds, is the lowest it can go. It cannot go any lower. And this can go much lower. So if I take the screwdriver and I'm gonna adjust this, so the frequency increases. You see 8, 9, 10, 20, and it's starting already kind of glitching. So 20 kilohertz is gonna be a frequency, kinda, I'm guessing, I'm not sure yet, that we will be testing amplifiers at. Because what we want to do is we want to feed a square wave through an amplifier and measure the actual slew rate. So this is, don't worry, I'm not going to be testing amplifier with this one. This is just to play around, because I have a generator coming probably tomorrow that can do like a proper square wave. But this is for you just to see how is this compared to a good scope. So this is the view of this, and you can see it's kind of glitching. You have something like here, rising edge, but you cannot really see what that is. But on this one, you can see literally everything. And if you zoom in, you see everything. So you have something happening here, this overshoot, and you have a square wave. Now what's happening if I'm gonna increase the frequency even more, so with a screwdriver, I'm gonna increase it, you see frequency here, 27. So we're gonna go up 30, 40, 50, and 60, 100 kilohertz. And you can see that this scope is already cannot do anything because this is the lowest time division, so we cannot stretch the time even more, so it is already struggling. This one, obviously, no problem. No problem at all. 100 kilohertz. Let's go higher. Let's see what this scope can do, little one. 160, 170. Okay, so this now what's happening is the duty cycle is changing. So let's keep it at, well, 150. So yeah, 150 kilohertz. This doesn't do anything. You literally cannot see anything. With this one, obviously, there's no problem. And you can increase it as much as you want, and you can see every single thing. So basically, I will make a video about slew rate when I'm gonna have my generators, probably tomorrow, and I'm gonna be testing an amplifier, and we will be measuring basically how fast is the amplifier is rising. So if you give him a square wave, how fast the voltage goes up. And we will see, because some amplifiers, I would imagine, they're gonna have a shape like this, not straight up, but like this, and some gonna have like up, up, and like this. So we will see how it's gonna be, but this is just for me to share my excitement with you, because I always wanted a scope, and now I will be playing with all of this, with the breadboard and everything. I'm so excited, because this one, it's only good for setting gains. So yeah, if you want to set gains of an amplifier at like 100 hertz or 1000 hertz to see a sine wave when it's clipping, get this one. It's perfectly fine. 20 bucks or 30 or whatever from China, you can get it as cheap as you want, and it's gonna be perfectly fine, no problem at all. Another thing that I found is this one, because probably no, I didn't say that on YouTube. I didn't tell anyone. I'm exploring options of recapping an amplifier. So I have one. Actually, let me show you. So I have these two. Yeah, they are the same kind of series, MRP. Yeah, this is 220, which is a 2-channel, and this is a 240, which is a 4-channel, and they should be identical and they should perform identical, because what I noticed from the same series, especially, I don't know about others, but like Alpine amplifiers perform kind of the same. But if you look inside, this one is a 2-channel and this is the 4-channel. There we go. So you can see that they're almost identical. However, do you notice one difference? The layout is the same. The difference is the capacitors. So these are green ones, which I don't know about the brand, ESHL, whatever that is. And these are the blue ones. So you have these brown, KGM, Sangyong, and the blue ones, I have no idea. So the capacitors are different, and everything else is the same. So the question arises is, over time, because these amplifiers are quite old, like 20 years plus, did the capacitors go bad or something? Or is, I don't know what, or is just something to do with the actual design of the amplifier? So my plan is to take this 4-channel and recap it. I'm going to change all the capacitors on it. So my plan is, I'm going to measure it first. I have measurements, but I'm going to do more in-depth measurements, because I want to see if recapping or changing anything inside is going to change the distortion measurements on the profile. So my plan is, I have 4 channels. I'm going to replace first only 2 channels of like, I don't know, probably these are called output caps, because my understanding, again, I'm very bad at this. This is a power supply, so these are power supply caps. This is like the signal chain, which is the crossovers and everything, and this is the output stage. So first, I'm going to change 2 channels of the output stage, and I'm going to compare unchanged with changed. Then I'm going to change the power supply caps, and that's going to give me, when I'm going to change the power supply caps, is going to give me new caps with old and new with new, and we'll see again if there's a difference. And the last, I'm going to change all of these, because these, I would like to bypass them, so bypass all the crossovers and everything, but this amplifier doesn't have the switch to bypass anything. So even if you have like the filters off, the signal is still going through all these caps and everything, so I want to replace these as well. And in order to do that, I needed something like this. So this is a little device. It costs, I pay like £6 or £7. And what it does, it's I think it's called identifier. So basically it checks everything. So if, for example, I'm going to take that cap, there we go, I'll put it in, start testing, and it tells me that this is a capacitor, 10 microfarads, and ESR of 1.7 ohms. So this is the cheap one from this kit, so I'm not expecting anything. So my understanding is that this ESR number is very important, and the lower it is, especially if it's like below 1 ohm, the better the capacitor is. And some of them, like brand names, I don't know them, like Panasonic or whatever, they have very low ESR. So my plan is, when I'm gonna buy them, I'm gonna buy from a reputable source. I'm gonna test them on this one. Of course, it's not gonna be 100% accurate, but still, I think it's gonna be a good comparison. So for example, just wanna show you this one. This cap, I got it, I don't know from, I have no idea where it's from. I desoldered it from something just to have a cap. And it is rated 120 microfarads for 20 volts. So 120 microfarads. And this one already says 101. So it is kind of, I don't know if it's considered out of spec because it's like 20%. I think these are rated 20% plus or minus. But yeah, it's much less than it's supposed to be. So yeah, this device I think is going to be cool. And when I'm going to desolder these caps, whichever, I'm going to check them on this one as well, just to see if they lost any value and what is their resistance internal, and just to see if they are bad over 20 years of constant use, because I guess this amplifier was clipped to death or whatever, I don't know. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see did the value change and how the distortion of the amplifier is changed with the recapping. And then probably is going to be my conclusion, is recapping worth it to improve the performance of an amplifier or not? Because some people on the Distortion Factory already posted before and after, but what I want to see is, with the recapping, if I'm going to put quality caps in this, can this improve and outperform this? Because now this one performs much better than this, but they should perform on the same level. So it's very, very interesting. So yeah, some electronics. I love playing with these. Like these, like if I would have this when I was a teenager, man, probably I would be still not married. Yeah, quick update about all of this. And testing is gonna come soon. We're gonna test the slew rate, square waves, we're gonna recap and do all that sorts of stuff. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.